Chapter 18. Voicemail Messages.
Okay, Vito isn't in. Tommie isn't in. You get dumped into Vito's voicemail. What do you do? Before I answer that question, let me ask you. What's been your experience with leaving voicemail messages? In other words, how high is leaving voicemail messages on your list of things you'd like to be doing as part of your sales work? If you're like the majority of salespeople I work with, your interactions with voicemail have probably left you thinking about going back to school to get a degree in finance, or maybe something that's really interesting like parks and recreation services. You've probably asked yourself at one time or another, what's the use of leaving a voicemail message? Nothing ever seems to come of it. Well, all of that's about to change right now. Voicemail is actually a great and underused sales tool. Most of the people and organizations you're competing against are not using it effectively. You're going to be taking advantage of that fact. The right voicemail message will quickly put you on the radar screen of Vito, Tommie, or both. In many situations, the voicemail message you leave Vito will be forwarded on to one or more of Vito's trusted decision makers.
Delivery of your voicemail message. You may not be able to control what happens to your message, but you certainly can control what happens during your message.
We've already covered how important it is to deliver a balanced gain equation, which is music to Vito's ears. Now, for your voicemail message, the vocal delivery is by far one of the most important factors in getting a return call.
VITO rule number 25. The tone, modulation, and pacing of your voice will determine how easy or difficult it is for Vito to listen to and act on your message.
The best tone to use in your voicemail to Vito is your natural tone. And the fastest way to know what your natural tone is will be to pick up your phone right now and call your own voicemail system. Once you hear the beep, hum your favorite song and let your system record it. Yeah, you may want to do this while no one else is around. After you've done that, don't call your message box yet. After you develop the text you'll be using for your first voicemail message to Vito, and that'll be in just a minute, I want you to use that text to leave a second voicemail message for yourself. When you listen to both of these messages, which should be after you're done listening to this chapter, I want you to ask yourself a question. Is your hum the same basic pitch and tone as your voice? If it is, congratulations, you're using your natural tone. If it isn't, you'll need to practice by humming a bar of that favorite song and then speaking a bar. Do this until your hum and your spoken words come out the same. Now, this too is something you may want to do when no one else is around. The modulation of your voice should vary and be in concert with the message you're delivering. You do this by changing your voice in accordance with the words and phrases you'll be using. You want to raise the pitch of your voice during the last few words of any question you ask and lower the pitch of your voice during the last few words of any statement you're making. The best advice I can give you on this score is to tune into your favorite news anchor and close your eyes as you listen. You'll be able to hear what I mean. And when you do so, you'll be able to hear what I mean. The volume of your voice should remain constant throughout your entire voicemail message. Pacing refers to the speed of your spoken word. Since Vitos are fast-paced individuals, it's best to deliver your voicemail message with a slightly faster pace than you would normally speak to a person over the phone. Of course, your message must always be comprehensible. In addition to implementing the advice you've just heard, you should follow these simple guidelines.
Be authentic. Don't sound like you're reading from a script.
Just as we discussed with your opening statement during voice-to-voice contact, you'll internalize your voicemail messages, not memorize your voicemail messages.
Deliver your message with enthusiasm. You must sound believable.
Therefore, you must truly believe that what you have to say is music to Vito's ears. Remember, you and Vito have much in common. Personality-wise, you're almost twins. People who have similar outlooks and interests like to look out for each other and keep each other in the loop when they come across something interesting and exciting. That's exactly what you're going to be doing with VITO when you leave this message. What you have to say will be well received if you're sincerely excited about it. Once you're excited about it, VITO will be excited too.
Follow up appropriately once you leave a voicemail message.
Don't expect to leave just one message and get a call back immediately from VITO, although that too will happen. Set up a plan. You must and will be prepared to leave a series of messages. Build this follow-through plan into whatever calendar or scheduling system you're using now.
Every voicemail message you leave must be different.
Each message must set up the next message and the next part of the storyline.
Voicemail message number 1.
Your first voicemail message is going to be your opening statement that you would have said to VITO if VITO had been in to take your call, amplified with what I call bookends at the beginning and end. As you listen to this first voicemail message, you'll notice how I've added the bookends before and after the opening statement or balance gain equation. Mr. Benefito, this is Will Prosper with Zipline. If you were in your office to take my call, this is what we could have had a chat about. The CEO of the world's largest electric manufacturer increased shareholder value and reduced cycle time by 63 days while eliminating $87.9 million in direct cost in just 144 days. This topic could be important to both of us. That's why you'll be hearing from me again today at 1:30. Or, if you'd like, you can call me before then at 800-777-8486. Have a masterful rest of the day. You can also modify the closing bookend and say something like this. This topic could be important to both of us. That's why you'll be hearing from me 1 week from today on Tuesday, May 14th at 2:30 p.m. Or, if you'd like, you can call me before then at 800-777-8486 anytime after 4 p.m. Until then, have a prosperous rest of the week.
Voicemail message number 2.
Of course, you'll make an attempt to connect with VITO at exactly the time you said you would at the end of your first voicemail message. If VITO isn't in to take your call, you must be prepared to continue with your storyline. Your second message could sound something like this. Mr. Benefito, Will Prosper here. Since you listened to my last voicemail message, we've created 2 additional results with top manufacturers in Southern California. Full compliance with government regulations and risk mitigation for wrongful termination litigations. If you'd like, we can get into the details as early as tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Or if you'd like, we can get into the details as early as tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Or, if you'd like, you can reach me at 800-777-8486. Thanks for your continued interest and have a great rest of the day. Note that I've added some new information. That's critical to getting a call back from VITO or Tommie or someone else, like one of VITO's key decision makers.
Voicemail message number 3.
You'll recall one of the most important methods and mindsets of VITO is that they love to win and hate to lose. In your third voicemail message, you'll begin to introduce the probability of an underlying consequence and subsequent possibility of loss that may result from not taking action on the value you have to offer VITO Incorporated. Your message would sound something like this. Ms. Importante, Will Prosper here. As we move into the last quarter of this calendar year, 3 of our key manufacturing customers are posting up to an $80,000 per month cost-cutting initiative with no increase in capital expense. Ms. Importante, we suspect the possibility of unintentional inefficiencies taking place in your manufacturing operation that we could stop within the next 45 days. All it will take to answer that question is a call back from you or the person you hold most responsible for your manufacturing operation. You can reach me at 800-777-8486 between now and the end of this business day. If not, I'll reach out to you on Friday, June 4th at 4:30 p.m. Thanks for listening to this rather long voicemail message. Of course, the numbers you use must be realistic. Notice here that I use the words unintentional, suspect, and possibility. These phrases soften the message and make it more credible.
Voicemail message number 4.
It's been my personal experience by the time you get to your 4th message, someone will either call you back and tell you to stop calling or engage with you. Here's a true story for further edification. Moments after leaving my 4th voicemail message for the president of one of the largest office supply companies in North America, my phone rang. What I heard took me by surprise. The voice on the other end of the line said, "You've been leaving voicemail messages for my president, and she's been forwarding them to me with her own comments." You'll notice here that the caller didn't identify himself or his company or give me VITO's name. I said, "Oh, that's interesting. What was her comment about my last voicemail message?" The response was music to my ears. She said to find out what it would take to have you teach our salespeople to leave messages like the ones you've been leaving for her. I was hired to give a keynote speech in Las Vegas, Nevada, for 1,600 eager salespeople. My cost of sales? 4 voicemail messages. I love this stuff. In your 4th voicemail message to VITO, you'll introduce a personal concern that maybe something has run amok with VITO's communications infrastructure. It could sound like this. Ms. Importante, this is Will Prosper. Just realizing that perhaps you have not received my last 3 voicemail messages. So I've taken the time to fax you the original correspondence that we sent, along with some other interesting information about our proven ideas for the manufacturing industry. The question quickly becomes, can our team of industry experts achieve similar or even greater results for your enterprise? Your return call to me will begin to answer that question. In the meantime, please consider this. Our customers look at our relationship as an appreciating asset, which continues to pay dividends long after they decide to become one of our valued customers. If you'd like, return my call today between the hours of 1 and 3 p.m. Pacific Time at 800-777-8486. Or, if it's okay with you, I'll reach out and make another attempt to contact you at 11:30 a.m. today. Thanks for listening to this voicemail message. Aren't you glad you took the time to get VITO's fax number? By the way, you could also use VITO's email address for the same purpose. At this point, you can start the process all over again from start to finish if you want. If you want to get on the fast track and get all those C-suite appointments you've worked hard for and deserve so you could sell more faster and crush your quota in the process, then all you need to do is go to our site, VITOSalesTraining.com. Click on the Take Action tab, scroll down till you see the VITO University logo, and check it out. And in the meantime, have yourself a masterful rest of the day. Bye-bye.